What's going on, Grizz Nation? Welcome into another Grizz Game Day update. I'm Kelsey. I'm joined by Kate Scott today as the Grizzlies take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Kate, I appreciate you coming back on. I know I should have worn a Grizzly shirt. I feel embarrassed now.
I feel like we're winning already today, KJ, because I got the Sixers across the chest. But anyway, proceed, my dear.
You win this one. You win this one. We'll give it to you. Okay, so the injury update for the Grizzlies. Des, Zaire, Danny's still out. Jake is doubtful. But there is some injuries on the Sixer side that I think are relatively new and important. Tyrese is out. James Harden is out. And then Tobias is questionable. Those three guys being out affects this team a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Imagine if three of your starters were out, right? Now, obviously, it's been a while. James hopefully going to be back Monday when we're in Houston to take on the Rockets, but you all miss him. Tyrese, I mean, James and Tyrese were the starting backcourt for the Sixers at the beginning of the season. Tyrese coming back from a broken bone in his foot. The good news is he's out of the boot, so hopefully he'll be back in the next few weeks. And then Tobias, who's really been the guy who has stepped up, because for all of last week, we weren't just without James and Tyrese. Joel was out too, because he had a foot injury too. So Tobias was really the guy who was just the consistent guy on both ends of the floor. He was putting up 20 plus the last three games before he got stricken with this illness a couple of nights ago. So yeah, he is questionable tonight. And he is kind of our Iron Man. That's one of the nicknames, kind of the machine, because anytime he's even remotely close to playing, he plays, which he showed against the Brooklyn Nets in Philly. Gosh, I think a week and a half ago when, again, Joel, James, and Tyrese were out, but he really led the way in the Sixers pulling that big, I would kind of call it an upset because the Nets had all their starters. So anyway, long story long, a couple of starters will not be there and potentially three starters, depending on if Tobias is good to go or not.
But someone that is there is Joel Embiid. And we were doing a little before we got on here. And Joel Embiid has not played at FedExForum since 2018. This will just be his third time playing in Memphis, which I just think is kind of like a crazy stat. But I'm so excited because let's talk about the matchup between Joel Embiid and Steven Adams. These are two of the biggest, and kind of Joel Embiid, he's not going to go against John Morant, but two of the league's top scorers. Like it's going to be fun tonight regarding Joel Embiid as a whole.
Totally. And we know that they both like to talk a little something. And I mean, as far as entertainers, because we all know, right, the top players in this league are entertainers in addition to being great basketball players. I put Ja in that category. I love watching him go off when he's not playing our Sixers. So I hope he has a really bad game tonight, but he is such a fun, entertaining player to watch. And your team is so entertaining, I think, just from a fan's perspective. And I think Joel is that guy for other people as well. Like, you love to hate him if he's not on your team, but he plays to the crowd. He loves being the heel in road cities like we are tonight. So I think the fact that they are obviously such different players, but I expect they'll have some moments. I mean, we all know Joel loves to track small guys if they're on the break. I know that you all love to run. So some of his best blocks have been, come from behind blocks. His jaw's going up halfway up the backboard. So I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of those clashes tonight.
Yes. Me too. The other thing is that the Sixers have won 3 of their last 4, but both teams are coming off pretty disappointing losses.
Yeah, let's wash
throw ours away. Let's throw ours away. So they're coming back in, and this is the first time that DeAnthony Melton is coming back to Memphis as a Sixer. How do you expect him to rally this team to get up for? I mean, I'm assuming we're going to have some kind of graphic or something to welcome him back because he is so loved here.
Yeah. And I have been for the last couple of weeks, especially because he's seen his playing time obviously rise with James and Tyrese out. But that he's been the steal of the offseason and the steal of that draft. The fact that we were able to flip him for Danny Green, who we all love, and we're looking forward to seeing Danny tonight, but obviously he's not available for you all this year as he comes back from the knee injuries. But I mean, he has just been, you all know, a breath of fresh air. I mean, he never stops smiling. His defense is insane. And it was really cool because Joel, after our really horrible loss in Cleveland on Wednesday, Joel said, look, we are all very aware that DeAnthony played here for the last 3 years, and we want to go back and do the best we can for him because we know that this means so much to him, right? Yeah, I mean, and when you have your new teammates say that, and we just talked to DeAnthony after shoot around over at FedExForum, and he obviously wants to go, he wants to go off tonight too. I mean, he said he and Ja have been texting. He's been a part of the group text, obviously, here with his former Grizzlies teammates and with the Sixers. So I'm hopeful that after such disappointing last games for both of our teams, that both teams just play their game tonight. And we have a really fun, awesome, competitive game, hopefully with D-Melt going off. Hopefully John and Joel have great nights. And then hopefully we emerge victorious and scoot out of town. But I just hope I hope it's a great game because, again, really entertaining players all over the floor, but especially the homecoming for D'Anthony. It means a little something more.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. My very, very, very last question for you is that I know how the Grizzlies play. They're top 5 in the league in second chance points, fast break points, points in the paint. All of those categories kind of bottom 10 in the league for the Sixers. This is the first time we're playing the Sixers.
Yeah.
Tell me how they score. Like, I know Joel scores. I know the guys who score, but like, how does the team get it done?
That's a great question. And it has been different every single game.
Okay.
We are one of the better 3-point shooting teams in the
Mhm.
league, but like a lot of teams, it can be hot or cold. I mean, the other night, the Cavs shot the absolute lights out, and we are number 1 before that game. So I know we've dropped a few, but the team was number 1 in 3-point defense. And then they were tops. They were top 5 when it came to 3-point offense as well. So that's one of the ways they score. Obviously, getting the ball down to Joel is another way that they score. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because you called out all the areas in which when the Sixers do okay in those categories, if we can slow you all down a little bit tonight, if we can limit some of the second chance opportunities, that's when the Sixers win. But at the beginning of the season, those were all categories they were struggling in. Transition defense was awful. Getting any kind of rebounds was tough. And that's when they were losing a lot of games at the beginning of the season. So I think limiting the way that you all succeed, getting the ball to Joel, getting some threes to fall, because as we know, that then opens things up for Joel to do more work around the basket. But when his mid-range is falling, I mean, he's absolutely unstoppable when he's hitting elbow jumpers, when he's hitting the 18-footers, because then are you going to double team him? What are you going to do from the Grizzlies standpoint?
Great at
Then
passing.
that opens up 3-point shots.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then our guys start hitting threes. And then the Sixers become a really difficult team to defend. But they also have to step up on defense. That's what they said back on media day. We want to be known for our defense this year. When they play great defense, that's when they've won games. When they haven't. So we'll see.
You know that old thing that people say, you are a baller, good defense leads to good offense. So that's where it always starts, right?
It can be a simple game, right? It can be a simple game sometimes.
Kate, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming on. I hope you'll get time for like a little nap or something before the game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe some barbecue, you know, I heard that's pretty good here. So looking forward to seeing you tonight, KJ. Thanks for the time.
Grizzlies fans, you can watch it on Bally Sports Southeast and the Bally Sports Plus app.